leak coming out of here.
Not a good plan.
Alrighty. Yep, we want to make sure they're safe, but it's got a leak in the regulator. Not a bad one, but you might let them know upstairs when he comes up and he's got a leak. Alright. This tank holds 235,000 gallons of salt water. The water doesn't start out as salt water, it actually starts out as fresh water right out of the tap. But we add chemicals to it, turn it into salt water. Now we could pump the ocean straight into this tank, but if we did that, we'd never be sure what we're pumping in here. And since we want to keep our livestock healthy, we make our own salt water. Of course, we have massive pumps that run 24 hours a day. It helps to keep the water as clear as we possibly can. Now, there's about 176 fish in here today. Sometimes we'll have over 200. Really depends. There's a number of reasons why the number fluctuates. But mostly it'll fluctuate because if a fish gets too big for this display, we'll take them out and trade to another aquarium. We might take a big fish out, and maybe we'll get 3 or 4 little fish. We'll replace them. Now all these fish you see here were caught right offshore from the aquarium. We send capture boats out with nets, they catch the fish, they bring them back to the aquarium, but we don't put them into the tank right away. We put them into medical quarantine. And there for about 30 days we monitor the fish to make sure that they're healthy, not carrying any diseases. And we begin to feed them a very healthy diet. Squid, clams, we also give them vitamins, and they get heritage. Now all the rocks you see in here aren't real. They were made by a company that makes climbing walls. Likewise, the sponges and the coral that you see in here, also not real. And the reason for that is some of the fish in this display love to eat coral. They love to eat it so much that they can eat it faster than we can grow it. So we have to have make-believe coral in here. Now we have 3 kinds of sharks in here. One of them, right above me, that's called a bonnethead shark. They grow about 4 or 5 feet long. Very shy, they normally don't hang out by divers. But they're a member of the hammerhead family. They're not a true hammerhead. If there was a hammerhead shark in this tank, I would be out there with you looking in. I wouldn't be in the water with them. The second type of shark that we have here is called sandbar shark. And it's pretty shy. It grows to about 5, 6 feet long. And again, it's shy. When we get in the water, they tend to hang up to get away from us. And they look like the more traditional. They have the more traditional appearance of the shark. The third type of shark we have in here is one right there, and that's called a sand tiger shark. Now they grow quite big. They grow, I think the largest one ever caught was about 14 feet long. And when I tell you, before he gets anywhere near that big, we'll transfer that little puppy out of here. We don't let them get that big. Probably 6 feet, 6 and a half, 8 feet, something like that. Then we'll take them and send them out to another aquarium. Now if we can't find an aquarium that will trade with us, we can release these fish in the ocean because we don't treat them as pets. We don't give them funny, cutesy names. We don't touch them, play with them, that's it. So they can be released in the ocean. Although there, they're going to have to hunt down their food. Here, we feed them. We feed them very well. Feed them 3 times a week. About 150 pounds of food in a week is given to the fish. And again, it's clams. I don't know if we give them shrimp, but I know we give them herring, we give them squid, and we also give them vitamins. The sand tiger shark is an unusual shark in that most sharks, if you were to grab their tail and hang on to them, they would drown in a very short period of time. They have to keep moving or they'll drown. Not true of the sand tiger shark. That shark can actually stop in the water. It can actually go to sleep if it wants to. All doing a show, we're used to pointing at fish. You have to be very careful to know what's around you, because if there's a sand tiger sleeping behind you, you would not want to blink and put your finger in his face. It would startle him. He wouldn't like that too much. So we're constantly making sure of what our surroundings are. Now this is something unusual. I've been diving for 6 years. I have never seen the two eels together in the same hole. One is a spotted eel and one is a reticulated eel. One is black spots on a white background and the other is white spots. No, I got it backwards. White spots on a black background and black spots on a white background. They don't normally fight each other, but I've just never seen them hanging out together in the same hole. Notice how their mouths open and close? That's not because they're mean. That's the way they breathe. They have to force the water in their mouth, and then they push it out of their gills in the back. Now, they can't see very well at all. They have very poor eyesight. If I were to put my hand here and wiggle my fingers, they would think that's a squid trying to take a nip out of me. And since an eel's teeth point in, if you were to bite, I'd have a hard time getting them off my hand or my arm because of the way the teeth are shaped. So I'm not going to get too close to them. Now the other type of eel we have here is a green moray eel. It's kind of hidden at the moment under this ledge. Same thing with the mouth. They keep it open and close it in order to get air. And they can't see very well. They grow kind of large. Not sure what the full size of one of these eels are. But I was diving once off the coast of Venezuela and I saw an eel. It was as long as my truck. It was huge and it was at night. So they grow quite large. Now, what's unusual about the green moray eel, he's really not green. It's a misnomer. He looks green. His skin is actually blue. Now, why does he look green? Because his blue skin is covered with a yellow mucus membrane that's used to let him slide in and out of rocks so he doesn't hurt his skin. If I were to go over and rub his skin, you'd see two things happen. Number one, the yellow mucus would come off as a cloud in the water and you'd be able to see the blue skin underneath. And number two, he'd probably try to bite me for rubbing him the wrong way. So I'm not going to do that. Just trust me when I tell you, it's really not green at all. In fact, you can do an experiment. You can take a piece of paper, a blue crayon, and a yellow crayon, put them down together, you'll see the color comes out green when you mix the two colors together. This fish over here is my favorite fish. We have two of them in the tank. The puffer or the porcupine fish. They have big eyes, they have a big mouth, they don't have sharp teeth, although their mouth is capable of crushing the clam with no trouble. So I would not want to put my hand near him. They have very big eyes. They kind of look like the movie character E.T. They have a very unique defense mechanism. If another fish tries to bite them, they'll suck in seawater and blow themselves up until they're 3 times the normal size, and all these spines that you see on his body will come out, and you'll look like a big round pincushion. Now I'm always asked, can I make them blow up? And the answer is yes. All I have to do is poke them. But if we did that, you'd be afraid of me. Every time I come in the tank, I'd be poking them for people. So we don't do that. Once in a while, they'll blow themselves up just, I guess, to see if it still works. Or if something should try to bite them, they'll blow themselves up. They usually play together. There's 2 of them. Although sometimes they take a time out from each other, like now. This is the small one. We have one that's even larger. And believe me, when they blow up, they're massive looking.